Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my October wrap up. It is already the end of October and honestly the month did not fly by for me for once. It was very busy, so I'm really looking forward to hopefully November being a little bit of a slower month, and I'm getting excited for Christmas. And also, look, I just changed my November calendar and look at the vibes. They're matching. I'm very pleased. Anyways, without further ado, let's talk about the stats and then we'll talk about the books that I read for the second half of the month. Okay, so if you haven't seen one of these videos before, I do split up my monthly wrap up into two parts because usually I read about 20 to 30 books. Okay, not 30. I don't really get close to 30 that often. So I split it up just to make it a little easier for myself because by the end of these videos, I usually feel very winded. So I split it up. But in the second half of the month, I talk about my stats, and then but I don't really talk into detail about any of the books that I read from the first half of the month. So without further ado, let's talk about the stats. So I read a total of 19 books this month, which is actually, I'm really happy about because I was in a pretty big slump at the beginning of October. So by the fact that I was able to get out of that the second half of the slump with 11 books since that wrap up, I'm very pleased about. So I did read 19 books this month, and Hopeless was by far my favorite. I did a whole reading vlog on it, and I just love Beau with so much in my heart. I love him so much. It's still probably like my third favorite in the series, but I loved it. I loved it. I read a total of 3,298 pages and listened to 104.18 hours of audio. Audiobooks really saved my reading month this month, so I'm just very grateful for audiobooks. I only read one physical book this month. I read 7 digital books and 11 audiobooks. And my top 5 genres for the month were obviously romance, contemporary LGBTQIA+, thriller, and fantasy, which brings my total to 209 books read for the year so far. So I will definitely be hitting my goal of 225 books, and I'm very happy about that. I'm feeling good going into November. I feel like I'm out of my slump a little bit, and I'm like ready to read Christmas novellas already. Okay, so speaking of Hopeless, the first book that I read was Hopeless by Elsie Silver. I loved this book, like I just mentioned. It was so good. It was everything I was wanting and more. So this follows Beau, who is a military hero who is just returning back from a really bad deployment. He had to spend like a couple months in a cave, and I think they didn't really go into much, she didn't go into much detail about it, but I think he might have been tortured as well. He is definitely treated like the town prince. He's treated like the war hero he is. Everyone knows their family and loves them, and he definitely gets special treatment everywhere he goes in the town, whereas Bailey gets the opposite, the female main character. Her family they're like the bad eggs of the town, like no one likes them, and because she's part of their family, everyone treats her the same as the family that she grew up with, even though they also treat her badly and she doesn't really associate with them if she can help it. So she's trying to work her way to move out of this town because she's tired of not getting literally any respect in town just because of what family she was born into. And one night when Beau can't sleep, decides to go for a drink at the local bar where Bailey works, and everyone has been treating him with kid gloves until Bailey, who tells him exactly how it is. She definitely just does not put up with any crap from him. And on that night, he stays until closing, and he finds out that she has to close alone. So they sort of form a friendship where he comes every night to close up with her to make sure that she is safe. And it's so cute. So they become friends, and then wow, this is really getting into a lengthy explanation, sorry. They make a bet where they pretend to be engaged so that Bailey can get another job, since everyone won't give her a job because of her like family. If she's associated with an Eden, she'll be able to get a job and move out and just live her life. Yeah, it all goes from there. That was probably way more of a lengthy explanation than you needed, but I just love this book so much that I couldn't stop rambling apparently. So I gave this one 4.75 stars just because it was not my favorite in the series. That one still goes to Cade and Willa, but I definitely still really loved this book. I think that Reckless and Hopeless are tied for me. Depends on the day whether I like Reckless more or Hopeless more. Okay, and then I read Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. This is the first book in the Maple Hills series, and I did really enjoy this one. It was a lot spicier than I was expecting. I don't know why, but when I went into it, I thought because it's maybe it's because it's a college romance, I wasn't expecting it to be as spicy as it is. And it also starts off like right away. I did find the characters a little bit annoying and childish at times, but overall I did think it was a really nice message, and it was just a lot of fun. So I gave this one 3.75 stars. It wasn't my favorite hockey romance that I've ever read, but it also was just like a good time, fun. I'm not gonna take it too seriously, but yeah. Still really enjoyed it. Then I read Fright for Me by Corinne Michaels. This is the second book in the Arrowwood Brothers series, and this one is a second chance romance. Basically, the concept of this book is that all four Arrowwood brothers left town to get away from their hometown and their abusive father, and their father ends up leaving them this land as their inheritance when he passes away, but in order for them to get the land, they each have to stay there for a 6-month period of time. And when they were leaving, the main character from this one, Deacon, I think that was his name, he broke up with his girlfriend and left town because he just did not want to stay in Sugarloaf anymore, and they all made this vow to just never fall in love because it wasn't safe, because their father only turned abusive after their mother died. So they all agreed to that. But when he has to come back into town for his 6-month period of time, he runs into her again, and they end up sleeping together, and she is pregnant. So there's all that drama with that, and meanwhile they are trying to navigate this second chance that they've been given. Very, very well done. I really liked it. I will say that all of Corinne Michaels' books, and at least in this series, I need to check out more books by her. The writing is very, very cheesy. Like, some of the things they say, it's just like, I'm just like, people do not talk like this. Like, it's very cheesy at times, but I still do really enjoy it. I give it 4 stars. I don't know if I said that. Then I read Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This is the second book in the Maple Hills series, and it came out in October. And just like the first one, this one's just fun. It's very spicy. This one is more of a one-night stand to friends to lovers, because they both are camp counselors together, and there's like this forbidden aspect because they are told you cannot hook up with the other counselors. So there's like a little bit of forbidden aspect to their relationship. I think this one's a little less spicy than the other one. It's just like the first one. It was good. It wasn't great. But it was a fun, quick read, so I gave it 3.75 stars. Then I read Beautiful Beloved by Christina Lauren. This is the 3.6 novella between the 2 books, and this one follows the second couple from these books who is pregnant, and who just had a baby, and they're trying to navigate life after just having a baby and prioritizing each other and stuff. It is a really cute book, and I really liked seeing the characters again, but it was just like a novella. It wasn't anything special. I don't know, it definitely didn't need to be read, but I did enjoy it just because I really liked the characters from the second book, so I gave it 3 stars. Then I read Ricochet by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is the second book in the Addicted Calloway sister world. I liked this one a lot more than I was expecting. I've seen really mixed reviews about this one in particular, and I think it's just because this one doesn't really actually follow Lily and Lo. It's more so just follows Lily, so I think that's why people probably don't like it as much, but I did really like it still, because I felt like they both went through a lot of character development, so I'm really excited to pick up the third one to see how that character development translates into their actual romance. I don't want to spoil anything about the series, so I won't go into any more detail than that, but I can see myself getting really addicted to the series, but I'm just not fully hooked yet, so I give this one 3.75 stars. Then I read Nothing Above by A. Marie. This one is a dark romance. It's also got sort of romantic suspense, mafia kind of vibes to it, and I was honestly really pleasantly surprised by this, because dark romance books aren't usually my thing, but I wanted to read. There was a dark romance readathon going on with a few booktubers, and I was trying to read those books, but this is the only one I actually got to, but that's why I picked it up. But yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised. It is really long. It definitely did not need to be as long as it was, but I really enjoyed myself. And I also just felt like the ending was so rushed. I wish they had spent a little more time at the ending and not so much on the beginning stuff. So I gave it 4.25 stars. I will definitely be picking up more books by this author though, because I did really enjoy it. Then I read Beautiful Secret by Christina Lauren. This is the 4th book in the Beautiful Bastard series. This one definitely was not my favorite. For some reason, I just like could not get into it. Compared to some of the other couples, I just was not invested in their relationship as much. It still was very cute, and like the plot overall was really nice. I really did like the plot. I just never got hooked into the story, so I gave it 3.25 stars. And then I read Egotistical Puck Boy by Saxon James and Eden Finley. This is the 1st book in the Puck Boys series. These are all hockey romances, and I really liked this book. It's just really, it was really cute, funny, sweet, like just like a fun time. It's definitely not like my favorite hockey romance again that I've ever read. Comparing it to the story, I think it's A Story Less or something like that by Tal Bauer. I can't remember exactly the words, but something like that. But when I compare it to that, it just didn't compare to that, but I did still really like this one. It had a lot of the similar themes to that one. That's why I sort of was comparing the two, but I did still really like it, and I'm definitely going to be like binging this series because they're just like a lot of fun. I'm having a great time. I also read the next one, which I'll talk about in a second, but I'm just having a really good time with this series. Then I read The One for Me by Corinne Michaels. This is the 3rd book in the Arrowwood Brothers series, and unfortunately this one just did not work for me. I almost DNF'd it a couple of times. It is a friends to lovers story, and those are never my favorite, but this one, like, it did not make any sense to me why they were never together in the first place when they were friends. Also, like, there was just so many things. There's a lot of things in here that I just felt like were unnecessary and could have propelled the story further without having, I don't know, I just like, this one was not for me. I'm really excited about the 4th one in the series, but this one just in particular was not for me, so I gave it 2.75 stars. And then last but not least, I read Irresponsible Puck Boy by Saxon James and Eden Finley. This is the 2nd book in the Puck Boys series, and I loved this one. It was so freaking cute. The one character, Dex, in this was so funny. The narrators did a fantastic job with this one too. I just felt like it was so funny the whole time. I was laughing. The antics and stuff that go on in this book, it's just a ton of fun. Like, it was so fun, and the romance was also really well done because I just like was rooting for them the whole time. They were just so cute. I gave it 4.25 stars. I really liked it, and I'm excited to continue with the series. Okay, and those are the 11 books that I've read in this half of the month. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite book was that you read this month. Subscribe if you're not already. Give this video a thumbs up because it really helps support my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.